also wanted to share, I'm sure you all noticed my choking there as Wendy, and coughing as Wendy was channeling about, as the Pleiadians were talking about specifically abductions in the moment and the processing of the abduction experience. And I realized as I was reacting to the information that I was reacting to the information. So I just wanted to share that with you all because, you know, Wendy and I talk about this a lot. I mean, we're Earthlings first, like all of you, you know, and
pretend ones. Though.
Yes, pretend ones, like all of you, and we get activated and have to clear things. And you know, when that happened, it triggered a bunch of issues for me. Oh, I'm in front of an audience. Oh, I'm going to interrupt Wendy. I felt embarrassed. I felt shame. And then I remembered as a healer, like, you attach shame to anything and you're going to paralyze yourself and not be able to heal. So I thought, okay, let go of the shame. Like, all of this was going on inside of my consciousness as I was coughing. But it definitely was a reaction to that information that was given. And they want you all to pay attention to that moment because in your lives, you all do the same things. You cough for reasons you don't know why. You have sudden pains in your body. You have lots of experiences that seem to come out of nowhere. Okay, nothing ever comes out of nowhere. There's always a cause. So if you can sit with the experience as you're having it and ask, well, what is this about? Why am I having this reaction? What do I need in the moment? You're going to be able to do a deeper level of healing than simply stop coughing. So that's what I did here in front of you. I asked what was going on. I got it was an abduction experience. Wendy picked up a little more information for me about it after on the break. So I just want to share that.
And also, pay attention to your emotions. If your emotions feel out of scale for what you are experiencing, it's a pretty good indication that you've tapped into another lifetime, especially for those who are empathic. We do that all the time. And as an empath, I had to learn how to deal with it. I was feeling emotions that, frankly, didn't feel like they were mine. And so you just have to be kind to yourself in that moment. All right? Everybody just take a nice, deep breath.
I want to say as well, I'm having so much fun today. And I want you all just to know how much fun I'm having and how grateful I am to be sitting here with Wendy, and how much I love Wendy, you know. And I never would have imagined 14 years ago when we first met in this life and started channeling together that someday we would be engaging in this way. And we're, you know, I'm really happy.
Making history.
Greetings, dear ones. This is Corolla. And as Wendy was talking earlier about Ramshi, that Ramshi is part of a collective, I am also a part of that collective. We are a group that exists within the 12th dimensional realm, and we are holders of frequency in the grand design, holding planetary systems together, holding galactic systems together. The question was asked earlier about how did it all begin? And the answer was given from Yeshua, that it began with a thought. We get really creative up here. And what we wish you to know is that it's important that you all get really creative down there. Because you are often waiting for a date. You're often waiting for an event in the future. You're waiting for 2012. You're waiting for what's coming next. So what we would encourage you to do is simply to be creative now. Instead of waiting for something, what would you care to experience in this moment, in this brief glimpse at the vibrational experience in front of you before the next one comes and the next one comes?
Yeshua here. Just want to partner here and share with you that your ways of creating, manifesting are shifting. You've gotten very attached to the information around law of attraction. Let it go. This is one of the things you need to let go. Law of attraction is a third dimensional operating system. So when we brought you that exercise of using your whole heart and then activating your field and your fifth dimensional chakra system. If you carry love in your field at all times, you will be able to create instantaneously and manifest what you need at all times without going through what's become a very long and arduous process that you all have called law of attraction because of movies and classes and books. So we're wanting to give you that as well.
So we're going to chime in here. This is a perfect example for you of differences of opinion, differences of perspective. So take the piece that resonates with you in the moment. Now, we work with you through the laws of attraction because that's where some of you are. But what Yeshua is sharing with you is that this is where you're headed. And there is a new method and a new way. So you're having to let go of a lot of the rituals, a lot of the structures that you put in place about how you thought you had to work in order to get to a vibration. We've been very honest about how we feel about rituals. We are not fans of them because you get locked into a mindset. And as Corolla was saying, you've got to start using your creativity. Because what's happening here has never happened before. We don't know what to tell you to do. You're the ones down here having the experience who are teaching us. We can lend a few suggestions. But you've got to tune in with yourselves and figure out what vibrates in your body, how it vibrates. Do you enjoy it? Do you want to keep creating it? Do you want to create something different? And you've got to use that imagination, as it were. But eventually you're going to stop using attraction and reflection. But if in one moment you feel drawn to use that, go right ahead. If in another moment you want to simply work vibrationally, great. We're encouraging you to let go of those old systems. Occasionally you may go back to it. Don't berate yourself. But also look for new ones. Look for new ways of healing. Say, in the past I know I'm supposed to work with this chakra on this issue, but I really feel like I'm supposed to be doing this instead. Listen to how you are intuitively guided because you have all the best answers within you. You just got to play around with it. You're all afraid to play because you think, I'm going to mess something up. Or, this is sacred. I can't touch it. No, it's meant to be altered. You already know what that sacred thing is. It's already had that experience. That vibration exists, so why not try a new one? Build on it. Some things are going to work, some things aren't. Some things are going to fall very, very flat, and that's all right. It was just an experience. You don't have to attach to it, and you move on.
We concur. We concur with all that the Pleiadians have brought forth, and yes, it's very true. Many of you are transiting in between, back and forth, from moment to moment even, which frequency you're resonating with, which experience you're having. We'd like to give you another piece now as you shift. Collaboration is key.
Yes.
So your reality used to your survival needs often were based upon a need to compete. Look what I made, look what I did, how can what I made take care of me? And that is as it should have been here on the planet. That was the game you were playing. But now as you're reascending, you must drop this need to affirm your identity by what you've done or what you've made on your own. That will keep you alone. That will keep you apart. That will keep you dense and small. You must instead look to those around you first, who are vibrating in a similar frequency first. Go to those you feel are vibrating in a similar frequency and say, how can we play together? What can we make together? And as you do that, as you collaborate in this way, you'll find others joining in others coming into your creations that are vibrating at the same frequency. And some of these beings may really surprise you. You may think, I never would have thought this person could be here in this moment with me. And we will say to you, let go of that thought and welcome them in. For if they've shown up, they are vibrating in your frequency, and you're going to recreate an experience that was very separate and individual here on your planet to one of immense collaboration and co-creation. So the word globalization has been given to you, and it's been used mostly to scare you. You've had many pieces of information implanted that are attached to the word globalization that cause you a sense of fear. You can feel it right now as you hear the word globalization. Ooh. You are global beings, yes. You are galactic beings as well, and you are universal beings of light beyond that. But first, you are global. You must be global. You must extend your frequencies, your energies, your love and light to every being who exists on this planet, and stop thinking in terms of towns and cities and states and villages and countries and continents, and instead recognize the identity of all as universal beings of light and collaborate.
We want to jump in here and just talk about one thing. For those of you who are very sensitive, for those of you who are empathic, we talked a lot about getting in your bodies, all right? So now it's time for you to step up the game. You, in the past, as you have reached out your energy fields, what happens is you connect with another, and what you're connecting with is their distortion. You're hitting that level of their emotional field, and you're feeling the emotions, and you're contracting. You're pulling your energy back in. And as you go here, what you're going to find is the energy has to keep pulsing out and moving beyond. You can't shut your energy down any longer. You got to run more and more of it and pulse more and more of it out, more light, more love. Because when you go further, what you see is beyond the distortion. You start to recognize the divine self, and you say, oh, this isn't a problem for me to be in a room of 500 people. Whereas before, you would think of that as your worst nightmare. So rather than contracting, you've got to start pulsing more and more out. It will take the focus off of you and that internal mechanism and start to put it out. You're not going to associate with those emotions in the same way. You're going to see, oh, look, they're playing that drama of competition out. Interesting. Look how they created that. Fascinating. You're going to look at it from a co-creative level as opposed to the victim-perpetrator consciousness. And you're going to start to have a very, very different experience. And the more that each and every one of you starts to connect with Source from within, you're going to start to connect more and more with others. But again, not with their distorted selves, but with their divine selves. So that you can start working globally. So that you can start collaborating and getting really creative. We're excited to see what comes up.
We're going to continue just a bit with this idea and have you think of it this way. Many of you believe that the energy that you have access to is finite. Many of you have said, oh, I felt drained by this. That person drains me. Oh, I don't have enough energy. And that's because you all have been operating, believing that you have a tank, and you run your day and your tank empties out, and then you have to go to sleep and recharge and your tank gets filled up. And that's, again, part of that third dimensional construct, running energy in that way. Well, there is a limitless supply of energy available to you as you run source energy through your heart chakra and connect in that way with your whole heart. You have access then to the ability to be unconditionally giving and receiving of love at all times. Because what you're doing in that moment is you're allowing universal love and light to move through you and work through you. You all then become a channel for that love and light, which is always replenished instantaneously as it moves through you. So if you begin to think about your day in this way, how can I be more loving, more unconditionally loving with those around me? If you let your focus and your attention, in fact, always be on that, how can I am being a receptacle of unconditional love, and I give that freely and generously at all times. As you begin to operate in this way, what you're going to understand is others around you will begin operating in this way as well. So imagine in this moment a reality where you no longer have to think for a second about your own needs, your energy field, your state of well-being, because everyone else on the planet is doing that for you. This is where you're headed. This is what you've been practicing, many of you, for years now, and you're practicing in this space right now. So practice this in this space right now in this moment. Send unconditional love through you to all in this space. And as you inhale, allow it to return to you in whatever form it comes without needing to place your attention on it, knowing it's there. This is going to be the key piece for you all. You know, many of you are still looking for love. Beautiful. You are all beautiful.
There's no need to look for it. It's simply opening up to receive it, or it is always there and always present with you.
Questions? Yes.
If everything is illusion, is there something that is not illusion, such as sound and light?
Love. Frequency. What you're looking for, it's all about vibration. It's all about frequency. And while on one hand we will say your reality is an illusion, on the other hand, it's not, because it is an expression. It is an expression of vibration. And in that sense, it's not. But when we say it is an illusion to you, we mean that it is just a small slice, it is a small sliver of the more expanded version of you. And it isn't all that you are. It is a limited sliver.
Let us say to you as well, maybe it's time for you all now to subtract that word illusion and then replace it with creation. Reality is a creation. You all in this room, you have an understanding of yourselves as much more than these bodies. You've integrated that piece of information fully, that the fact that you attached yourself to this particular identity, yes, in part, that's an illusion. That word, though, sometimes is tripping you up now because you think, well, it's not really real, therefore I should be elsewhere doing something else. No, there is nothing more important than what you do here right now in your creations. Nothing more important than this.
Let us give you another word for illusion. It is a limited perspective. And perhaps that will help you. Your version of reality is simply a limited perspective. So when you pull back, you say, oh, look at all the other stuff going on. All right?
You had a question?
Yeah, I did. I'm getting just a little bit confused because I've been working so long on discernment. When you're trying to be compassionate with the people around you, and there's so many people around us these days that are becoming very desperate, and they are, and I hate to say it, but they're draining our energy. And you're saying that if you give it to them and go past, I'm just kind of struggling.
Yeshua again. Yeshua, yes. So, this is a very complex piece that you're asking about, because you all, for a long time, had to develop boundaries. You had to do many things to survive in the limited perception, perspective of the third dimension. Yes? You had to do many things.
Right.
We're saying you don't have to do those things any longer. You don't have to protect and disarm. But that also means you don't just walk about as you are. So in this transitory period which you're in, you will find at times you're still operating from a need to impose boundaries because you've forgotten in that moment that you are a conduit of unconditional love and light which moves through you all the time and its source is infinite. In the moments when you forget that, like what was being said earlier about law of attraction versus instant manifestation and creating from your field, you're in this transitory state, yes, where you may find yourself relying on what we would call third dimensional technologies. That is okay. But when you catch yourself in the moment of establishing a boundary, feeling drained, simply observe. Observe yourself in that moment. Don't judge. Don't try to change. Just observe. Oh, aha, I feel drained. Your body, your essence, your energy, your higher self, all of you wants to shift, wants to exist in a fifth dimensional construct where you're able to run unconditional love and light through you at all times and give effortlessly. You want that to happen. So it will happen automatically is what we're saying, as long as you simply observe the moments when you feel out of sync with that reality. Just observe your behavior. If you step into judgment about yourself, if you step into judgment about another, or you step into shame, you're going to make the process jerky. It'll be the start and stop kind of energy. Some of that actually, that is the way you've been experiencing. A little jerky. Because you think you should be doing better than you are. We will say you are doing marvelously well. You are doing beautiful, beautiful work in this life. Know that truth more within your being. That will take care of everything else.
Thank you.
So we'd like to add our 2 cents here as well. We'd like to give you another way of thinking about boundaries. Most of you, when you think about boundaries, see yourself in this cocoon of white light. That's separation for most of you. It creates a wall. So, as we were saying, the new method of working is about pulsing more energy out. And if you've got an infinite source, then it's not a problem. But when you drop down to that limited perspective, you say, well, it's finite now, and now I've got nothing left. But we'd like to kind of shift that image for you. Instead of a cocoon and putting yourself in this isolation, we'd like for you to see it, that boundary, as a vibrational range, which you are not going to drop below. So your boundary says, I'm not going to drop beneath this resonance right here. You're going to have to come up to me. All right, if you want to interact with me, you've got to raise your frequency. So if you think about it that way, it's a horizontal plane here, and you're not contained in any way. And you can allow more energy simply to flow through you and allow others to come up to your level. It's a choice. You can choose to drop down, that's fine. It's a vibrational experience. Are you enjoying it? Maybe, maybe not. But really, boundaries are about learning to hold your own vibrational level. All right, and hold higher and higher frequencies. And see yourself as running unlimited amounts of energy. There's no need for protection. Protection comes from the mindset of separation and of duality. All that is really required is for you to pulse love. Because anything else that you're pulsing out, you're going to get back. All right, so any fears, any lower resonances, that's what you're going to get back. So simply pulse love. It's really as easy as that. And the rest will take care of itself as it starts to get activated. The more you hold love, the more the lower stuff gets activated. What will happen is you'll drop out. And you'll experience that lower frequency until you can integrate it, until you can acknowledge it in your field. And then you integrate it, you shift it, you raise your vibration again, you get back up to that higher frequency, the lower ones get activated again. You drop out. This is the process, the normal process that you will go through. Do not berate yourself because you say, how am I in this lower frequency again? You can't sustain the higher one. It's just not possible for any of you. So you will go for a period, drop out. Go back up, stay there for longer, drop out, perhaps not as far. Go back up, stay for even longer until you finally get to that period where you are simply holding that higher resonance. And that higher resonance just happens to be in another dimensional range. That's where you're all headed.
I had a question, if you're ready.
Yes.
It's a little more mundane, but it's finances. In the past, I had bad credit, but the last 10 years, I really built it up, so now it's good credit. So a month ago, I went to this person and gave him some money to get me, he said, just go to this bank, set up an account, and we'll get you a loan. He said, in about 2 weeks, you should be able to hear from the bank. Well, it's been about a month, and I'm just wondering if it's just taking time, or if you could read the energy, if there's something else going on, because it's giving me a lot of anxiety. And it's kind of my past coming back, because 10 years ago I did have bad credit. I'm thinking, well, maybe now they're going to say...
Okay,
blah,
yes,
blah.
yes, we'll hear. Yes, you encapsulated it there beautifully in your last statement when you said it's kind of like your past coming back. You have recreated a situation for yourself. This is how you all heal. This is how you recognize you have healed. You've shifted. You step into the same situations over and over again, and every time you give yourself the opportunity to operate differently. So we're not going to tell you what's going to happen. We instead are going to remind you that your operating system is yours. You are not only in a much better state where your credit is concerned as you were 10 years ago. You are existing in a higher frequency than you were 10 years ago, and you've forgotten that right now because this situation came along and hit you like a Mack truck, and you dropped your frequency. So you're sitting here in the mud going, oh no, what's going to happen, what's going to happen, what's going to happen? So we're going to recommend you process the energy right now that's being sent your way. Process it right now. Uncross your legs and process the energy. Take a breath. Raise your frequency around this particular issue. Send love and forgiveness. Let's do the whole room. You do this right now. Whole room. All of you. Process this particular transmission. Whatever your current issue of the day is, send love back in time to all of those lifetimes where you played this issue out. And you don't have to call them up in your consciousness. In fact, don't even try, because you'll simply limit what's really going on. So you think this is about 10 years of your life or 20 years of your life. No, it's about so much more for you, Vince. It's about lifetimes of the same issue wanting healing. So you all send love to all of those pieces of you existing in whatever realm, whatever life, whatever star system that feel dysfunctional in this way. Send love to your dysfunction without judgment, pure love. Practice this, Vince, specifically around this issue for at least 24 hours. Stop. Every time you try to figure out what to do next, stop it. All of you, stop trying to figure out what to do. Just stop it, all of you, from here on out.
Easy enough, yes.
Because when you're operating from the heart, from your whole heart, there is no more figuring it out. There is simply transmissions of love and manifestations of that love.
So I don't need to keep calling them to find out?
Correct.
Because that's what I've been doing, checking up on.
No, you need to go within, shift and heal within, and the situation will resolve itself.
Remember, you're a vibrational being, so work with vibration and not the external world. Because the vibration is created first.
May I ask a question that relates to that?
Yes, and a bunch of hands came up. Arena was up, and then, yep.
I wanted to ask about this grounding stuff. because in my mind I hear the word ground and then I hear high frequency. And to me it's like I'm Mary Poppins, you know, with an umbrella, and I'm heading up there, and then it's like, oh, but my feet are supposed to be on the ground. And
Grounding means it's very simple. Do not go up and out to have your experiences. Allow the energy to come to you. Stay in your body and receive.
okay, because I think what I'm good at doing is, or
Yes.
have been for a while,
Leaving.
is leaving.
Yes.
Because
You can't get anything done if you're not in your body.
And again, this is part of what we were talking about. Some of these old visualizations, they're no longer serving you. All right. So if you want to see your body being created and generated around you, rather than you coming into it, if you see yourself as an orb of light and see the body shaping and taking form around it, the grounding aspect of it is you being infused in this vehicle. So you're not necessarily seeing up and down, but rather that it's generated around you and you're infused in it. That will help you. And this game is about you all bringing your higher consciousness, your higher selves into the vehicle. That expanded awareness into the vehicle. You can't leave it. All right? You got to be in it.
that, you know, the diamond light meditation or activation.
Yes.
That always works for me because I immediately am in my body and then feel infused with the light. In fact, it's kind of very sci-fi when I imagine it. And a lot of the times I get those images of, have you seen Second Life, the computer game where you can create...
I'm aware of it, but not,
Well, it's kind of like that almost, where I can actually, I structure my vehicle, my body, and then the light comes to me. So does that sound about close to it?
However you want to see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's going to be different for
Right.
each and every one of you.
Yes.
Because one of you is going to get triggered and activated another way and say, well, this doesn't make sense. Or, you know, this feels limited. Or, wow, this really works. So, again, this is where we go back to saying play around. Play around with your creativity. You don't have to do the same ritualistic behavior every single day. Just because we've given you one method, and you say, well, this is how I have to ground. I have to see it this way. Say, you know, I feel like rather than, you know, the light coming into me, I feel like it wants to make a bubble around me and then I'm going to be birthed out of it. You know, you can let your imagination guide you. There's no right or wrong way. Whatever allows you to connect with the frequency. That's the whole point of the visualization. It's allowing you to connect with the frequency.
Yes.
My question was, I'm very glad that you brought up the credit scenario, because to me it's a very third-dimensional game, and I'm just wanting to ask, is it ever going to shift? There's so much judgment around it. Every day people make their decisions based on, I have to pay this, or my credit's
Yes,
gonna
it's
go
going,
down, there's
eventually
so
it's
much
going to
fear.
shift. Yes. Okay. Your entire way of dealing with money, you're in transition about it already. You're creating for yourselves more and more discomfort. That's probably going to continue now. Again, if you work on the principle of collaboration, if you all start to work in that realm and play in that realm of collaborating, joining your frequencies in that way, you'll be able to navigate through this time in a much easier way, because you'll be keeping your frequency higher anyway. So you're not going to attract to or create for yourselves situations around money that would cause you distress, okay? You'll keep yourself higher. And then eventually, as you fully activate your fifth dimensional chakra systems, you will have no need for money. And that's a process. This is a part of the game.
But what we'll also say here is, in your desire to move out of it, there's also an attachment to it. There's a judgment about it. And that's what you've got to look at. All of you. Because otherwise, it's not a problem. But there is a judgment about money itself. And a desire to move away from it. Flee from it for many of you. Because of the system and the structure. So you've got to make peace with that. Because if you are still judging it in some way, you are still going to be attracting that in so that you can shift it, so you can heal it, so you can let it go. Simply perceive money as energy, period. That's all it is. It is a physical representation of energy. But look at your judgments around it and what you think about having it and not having it, or other people who have it or don't have it. And remember that those who don't have it and those who have it are simply creating these scenarios for themselves. It's their own stories, and there's nothing right or wrong about it. Do you all understand what we mean by this?
Well, and remember as well, they're all reflections of you. They are all, everyone, we all are reflections of each other, always. So when you interact with one who has a lot, they're reflecting back to you your ability to create that. When you interact with one who has less, they're reflecting back to you your own heart state, feeling state as well, where money is concerned. If you could really begin to understand that you're already in a giant collaboration here. That's part of that illusion scenario, okay, limited perspective. You're all in a giant collaboration as you get more conscious now about your desire to collaborate, a willingness. Yes, you must desire to collaborate. You must be willing to let go of living your lives the way you have and open up to other people, really open up. And that scares the crap out of many of you. It really does. It causes you, some of you, to want to hide. So as you feel that contraction, as we talked about earlier through Wendy, as you feel that contraction, pulse more love and light through you, remember that's just an idea or related to a trauma. It's not what you came here to do. You came here to consciously collaborate in loving ways. You had your hand up, and then
we're going to say one other thing here, is that you're already collaborating whether you're conscious of it or not. You're already connected to everyone and everything, whether you are conscious of it or not. So that thing that you fear it's an illusion anyway. Now, we also want to say here that you can start using holography to your benefit. You can start finding more and more frequencies and choosing to download frequencies into your own field. It's like downloading programs from your movie The Matrix. So if there's something you want to learn how to do and you know someone else who is able to do that thing already, ask to find that frequency. They've written the recipe on how it's done. You don't have to reinvent it. You can simply tap into the frequency. Because sometimes you all get locked in this idea of, I don't know where to start, I don't know how to do this, I haven't got a clue, and it shuts you down. Well, someone else in the collective has probably already found a method of achieving that frequency. So you simply, as a vibrational being, have to put yourself into alignment with that frequency. All right? You don't have to know exactly in the mind what the frequency feels like. You just have to set that intent, and the heart knows exactly where to go, and open yourself up to receive and connect with that particular frequency. And you'll be able to start to see these transitions. You'll be able to download the information, and that will help to get you inspiration to say, oh, here's some action I can take in order to achieve that vibration. All right.
Yes, Sheila, here I want to continue on a bit with this idea of frequency and how it relates to identity. So often as you look at the things that other people have done on your planet and you admire their creations, you think if you plug into their frequency, somehow you're copying them, stealing from them. This, again, goes to that lower density way of being in a third dimensional construct. Okay, you're leaving that. You're leaving all of that behind now. Everything needs to be available to everyone. So we just wanted to point that out. And there's one other piece around frequency. You are used to feeling your feelings as emotions. In a fifth dimensional experience, instead of having an emotional body and processing emotionally, you're going to work with frequency. So there is a frequency that exists in the universe that relates to every single emotion you're used to feeling. So if you find yourself feeling low, feeling down, unable to raise your vibration, call upon the frequency of joy. However it comes to you, you can give it a color. You all are so wonderful, at constructing how it all looks and feels and smells. So let yourself play that game with yourself, but call upon the frequency of joy. And as you inhale the frequency of joy right into your whole heart. As you exhale, infuse yourself with joy. It can be that simple now. And you'll find your emotional bodies then in a neutral zone. You want your emotional bodies in neutral so you can access frequency. Okay, you had a question. No, sorry. This gentleman right here.
Yeah, could you expand a bit more on this high probability disclosure event over the next, is it a few weeks? Does it have anything to do with the solstice? What's the point of, or the download on the solstice? What's the purpose, and how will it all play out? And anything more you can give us?
Well, what we'll say about it is this, is as far as the disclosure goes, it is likely to be precipitated by an event that will expose a lot of truth. And it will most likely be around civil liberties. The presentation of extraterrestrials is done consciously because it is known it is known in your government the fact that it will create fear and distraction. And for them, it wouldn't be optimal timing to use it. It's like you've got a card you don't want to play, you want to hold on to it for as long as you can. But if this other probable event comes to pass, they're going to want to play this out because they want to generate fear to suppress. Again, we don't want you to get too ingrained in this idea about control and manipulation. It's just, this is happening, it's going on so that the masses can wake up. Doesn't mean that you have to participate in this game. You can remove yourself energetically and just observe and say, wow, that's really interesting. That's what we want you to do, is just to observe it. And then if you find yourself getting activated through the process, great, another fear identified, another opportunity to integrate. That's all it is. It's just shifting from this playing field of the global events to the interdimensional. And it's going to happen anyway. It's just a matter of timing. But we're seeing this timeline coming closer. And yes, it is in part due to the solstice because the frequencies you're getting more and more downloads. The frequencies are higher. And so truth is coming up. So we're seeing this as part of a possible trigger. And the timelines, they're moving back and forth. We're not able to nail it down entirely. But yes, it's soon.
Well, and part of what's happening as well is because you are sitting in a higher resonance now. At a continual basis, you're able to see more. So there are more sightings happening. It appears that there are more in your skies. There really are not more in your skies. You just have more access. But because you have more access, they also have more access to you. So your governments are also aware, as we said, it's really a matter of time now. It's just a matter of time before contact is made and they'd like to control the event. So they want to be in charge of it. We're giving you this information as well because it's more evidence of the shift. Many of you have taken in this information. You've processed it, that you're shifting. You're shifting your frequency. You're creating a new reality for yourselves. And you've had doubts along the way at times or not seen evidence of it. Over the past few years now, it's been made obvious to all of you, you're shifting. It's happening. The shift is not a future event. You're in your shift. You will continue to shift, and this is just part of the shifting event. Reacquainting with your galactic neighbors. The piece we're giving you is that it will probably be a controlled event, which, what's new on the planet? That's not. Yes.
kind of combination question on those last couple of points of curiosity. Wendy had said about a year and a half ago that there would be no more income tax in about 5 years, and also is this WikiLeaks event part of that government being on the defensive? And also, in regard to chemtrails, Wendy had said that there was a lot of energy for us a couple of weeks ago that was present for us all, and the government was trying to control it. Any comments along all those lines?
Just a little ground to cover.
Let's take those one at a time, shall we? WikiLeaks. Can we do that one first? Yeshua here on WikiLeaks. It will and it won't do what you want. Like everything. It will and it won't do what you want. You all really need to
Discernment.
and get out of the way of looking at things playing out in a linear fashion. You're very tied to beginning, middle, and end of a story. So you want to see the end of this WikiLeaks story now, okay? Well, the end of it might happen 5,000 years ago. See, this is how you all operate in reality. When you step out of linear time and begin playing with timelines. You heal something in this moment, you affect many other moments in the universe, and the actual impact of that might be much greater. The most important thing you can do right now, all of you, is live your lives from a place of love. We understand you want the truth from someone else, some government officials. You want someone to come clean. So many of you want someone to come clean. So come clean yourselves. What are you not being truthful about? All of you are still holding moments, hiding, being dishonest, playing that game. All of you, still. That's your work. Be here, loving, open, and truthful. The more you go within and shift your internal technology, the more external reality takes care of itself. And then these kinds of situations no longer even manifest.
Still continuing in the line of vibration. When you think about wanting a government to topple or to come clean, all right, there again is a polarity there. It's happening out of fear because in some way you feel like you're being suppressed or you're being controlled. All right? Do you all feel that in your bodies when you think about it? Mm-hmm. Can you all associate with that? Mm-hmm. So find that vibration within yourself. All right? It doesn't really have to happen for mass consciousness, but it needs to happen for you as you feel it and as you experience it. See yourself as not needing control, not being controlled, and allowing all to be as they are. Align yourself with that vibration. And you will put yourself on a timeline in which that exists. It may take a while for you to see that in your external reality, all right, for you to shift. You may have to shift through several to get there. But keep pulsing that vibration and aligning yourself with that version of you where that is your reality, where all can be as they wish to be, and it doesn't have to keep you suppressed as an individual. All right? Mass consciousness can have their version of reality, and this is one area that it doesn't have to overlap. So, again, we keep saying, go back to see how you are experiencing the frequency as you think about things, as you look into the external world. And again, go back within and see, as Yeshua was saying, what's going on in your own personal life. Where are you playing that drama out?
In the back, and then...
Would you elaborate a little bit about the concept of that we are living different lives at the same time according to different decisions we are taking in our life?
You're talking about multiple realities. Some of you call them parallel realities, but yes. So it comes, we'll give you a little bit of structure. So you have an oversoul. That's a great big being that exists in a much higher frequency. Your oversoul. From the oversoul, many pieces break off. Okay, this is just our version of how it all works. Many pieces break off, and you would call those pieces higher selves. okay? From the higher selves. Many pieces break off. You would call those pieces souled beings. You are a souled being. Okay? However, there's not one version of reality. So, you as a soul being relate to a higher self, which also has given birth, so to speak, to many other versions of this version of you. Okay, from your perspective, you are the primary, they are the secondaries. Okay? So what happens to you is most important to you. This is true. From their perspectives, they're all the primaries and you're a secondary. So if they were in this room, they'd be a primary, you'd be a secondary in some other room somewhere else. Yes. Okay, don't try to process this with your minds right now. You can't. You fragment when you try to process this mentally. You feel distorted by the information. Process it with your heart. What we're really telling you is you are connected to a network of many beings who are existing right in this frequency that you're in, that have tried on experiences, thrown them off, tried on other experiences, made other choices, and when you go about your day-to-day life, you can link up with those other parts of yourself and find the one that's sitting in the highest frequency and pull that frequency into your current reality. And it's very easy to do it because you're doing it with yourself. So that's the piece we want to give on this right now. Try not to think about it all too much.
Thank you.
And the beauty of the third dimensional mind is that you get the illusion of linear time. Now, the past, present, and future is all one. It's all concurrent. So time is just a marker. And again, you're putting yourself vibrationally with where you want to be for an event. All right?
Yes.
As I work lifting and vibration and sending love and light and feeling that for all those around me and on the planet. And I love our planet, so she comes first and then all of us. I work really hard on that, and I send out love and light, and I can't avoid noticing that other people, even with their free will, have chosen violence and things that I find very painful. So how do I work with that?
Well, if all are reflections of yourself, then any who is enacting a violent act is a reflection of some aspect of you. Maybe in another life, maybe on another world, doing the same action that you haven't made peace with. So what you're saying really is you haven't made peace with yourself. Because you have judgment about those actions. It's true for many of you, and you're programmed to believe here on this planet there's good and bad and right and wrong and black and white, male and female, and on and on and on. Okay. Integration is about understanding all are one. There is no right or wrong. Those beings acting out in that manner. Yeshua here. There is always trauma, underlying violence. Always. Send love to the trauma. Send love to the moment of trauma. To yourself, to them. You'll be able to rise above and hold the frequency you wish.
Thank you.
I think you were up first.
Can you speak a little bit about relationships and twin flames? I used to believe in that, and that's one thing that shifted for me. Like become the one to the many.
Yes.
All right, so we'll jump in here. This is about all of you creating a divine relationship within yourselves. And you all have all of these different levels and categorizations of separation. My twin flame here, there, the other place. It's about letting go of all of those and creating the divine relationship within. Because once you start to establish that, you're going to start to create a divine relationship with everyone and everything. You're going from this sense of separation to the connection with the collective. So there isn't going to be just a singular being who aligns with your agenda, as it were. Now, as we were talking about before, that there are all these different parts of your ego, or there are different parts of souled beings, yes, you can connect and align with them, but is that required? No, because you're expanding that sense of who you are as a collective. So you're no longer even creating that point of separation within your higher self, which would have been considered a twin flame. So you're now expanding to connect with other higher selves, which are expanding to connect with the oversouls. So you're removing those partitions, as it were. So the more you create that divine relationship within, the more you're going to start creating it with everyone and everything. And everyone and everything, because they are holographic. They are holding all of your experiences. They have access to. And they can reflect anything back that you really require. It doesn't have to be done with a twin flame. It can be done with a stranger on the street. All right?
Yes.
Could you address the role, if any, of the pineal gland to the shift?
Well, the activation of the pineal gland is helping to excrete chemicals in the body, which are helping to release some of the bindings in the mindset. All right, to let go of some of these attachments and basically these pathways and patterns that you've created. They're helping you to let go so that you can have an expanded sense of awareness. It's a chemical process. Do you have to know all about it physically? No, because again, you're going to go back to the linear state of mind that wants to know how absolutely everything works, and the mind's not going to get you there. So just know that as you're expanding your heart center, you are going through many, many chemical processes in the body as you're altering your frequencies. Your body's constantly dumping out toxins out of the cells. You're activating different hormonal systems and producing new chemicals in the body to help you to increase your energy levels, to help you to increase your frequency, so that you're able to have more energy to do other things in the body until you get yourself up and beyond where the body is literally changing itself. You are changing the chemical structure of your body right now. You are creating a new energetic template, the crystalline matrix, which is pretty much, it's very similar to the current meridian system that you have, but it's upgraded so that you can run higher frequencies through it, and that is overlaid over the current meridian system, and you are replacing bits and pieces of this meridian system as you go. It's like laying pipe. You cut a section and you replace it, in a sense. All right, that's kind of a simplified visualization. But there are many, 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 many processes that are going on, so you don't have to concentrate just on the pineal gland. The other glands are just as important. The only difference is the pineal hasn't been really active. All right, it's becoming more active in the process. But the others and what they're doing are just as important, that all systems are working in harmony.
Yeshua here, we'll say if you go back to running the frequency of love through your whole heart, running it through your body, expanding into that field that is you connecting with your world. We really want to stress the importance of that field of you connecting with your world. So your body sits in it, this field. Everything that needs to happen physically will take care of itself. Yes.
We will say one other thing here, that remember that your physical body is a representation of your energetic state. It's a projection. So you can all do things to the physical body, all right? But it's working a bit backwards. Because really what you want to work with is the energetic state that creates the body. All right.
I wanted to ask Yeshua a question, and I really feel like it's important, and I can't quite figure out what it is. It's morphed a million times. And, but Yeshua's energy sets up such a longing.
Yes. I'm going to share with you, we are going to share with you who we are. You have a story on your planet about a man named Jesus. It's a story. It's a very watered down version of what actually has occurred on the planet. There are a collective of beings who carry with them what we might call the Yeshua frequency. At the time of Jesus, according to your Bible, there were many, many beings who incarnated at that time, bringing to the planet the Yeshua frequency. You are one of them. This is why you resonate with it so strongly. There are others of you in the audience as well who came here at that time and walked the planet as Yeshua. You all performed miracles, did healing work, and came here with a very important message. And the message was, there is one. There is one connection, one source. That story was altered into the story of one God. Came here with the message of, there is one. That is all of you. It is all of us. You came to the planet, all of you, who carried the Yeshua frequency with you at a time when extraterrestrials had been posing as gods and goddesses here on the planet and had wreaked havoc with the earthlings. The Yeshua frequency incarnated and shifted that dynamic. You are all here again to finish that work. So, this is why you are triggered in the way that you are.
Thank you.
A little aside, Yeshua talked to me yesterday and told me that I'd be telling the Yeshua story and my understanding of the Yeshua story. So now I know what that is. But I want to tell you that, Judith, because as you said, I want to ask you a question, I don't know what. I'm like, I already know. I was already downloaded with that yesterday.
Oh, crazy. Thank you.
Okay, yes, in the back, and then Gloria, right?
The Pleiadians have helped me with this before. Kevin has. He's in the room with us also. So since Yeshua's here, I'm going to ask you for your help as well. My issue of the day is something that has come up, which I thought I had cleared. That's come up recently, and it is about dark magic. And when I sent out unconditional love with that exercise we just did, a lot of fear came back to me. And I need help to please clear this out because that situation arose in my life again recently.
You felt a lot of fear, is what you're saying, correct? Okay. So, Yeshua here, one of the reasons you're having this experience, it was illuminated earlier, is because you're preparing for this download, this transmission of energy you're going to receive on the solstice. So in the preparation for it and in the band of energy you're currently moving through right now as well, the photonic energy, a lot of you are revisiting old stories you had thought you would put to rest. Well, this is what happens as you re-ascend. Every time you shift up to a higher frequency, you got to clear it all on that level. All you need to know right now is this. You're better now. You're better already. You're better right now. I am better now. You are better. Things can happen very quickly for you now. One of the issues you had on this planet is it used to take you a long time to heal. You would play out your healing processes over months and even years at times. You can heal now in an instant. You can transform, send love again, right now in this moment. And know you have nothing to fear, especially yourself. There's nothing in yourself you need to fear.
We'll throw our 2 cents in. So also know that as you're pulsing more love, you're just integrating more and more levels. Again, as Yeshua was saying, you're going higher, so there's a new deeper level. Because if you had healed all of that, or you brought it all up to your conscious awareness, at the time we originally started talking about it, it would have been way, way too intense for you to deal with. So you've got to take it in little bits and pieces, and this is why you keep bringing things up and up and up again. because otherwise it's just too much for you, and you will never take on any more than you're prepared to. You know what is the right amount for you. So that's why you appear to continue to repeat issues. And sometimes you do it one more time just to make sure you got the lesson. I just want to make sure I got it. Let's try it one more time. So, again, the more you're holding those higher frequencies of love, the more the lower stuff comes up. Acknowledge it. It is still part of who you are. It is a split part in duality, but it is still an aspect of source creation. So as you appreciate it for what it is, a vibrational signature, you don't judge it, you're just allowing it to have its own existence, and you acknowledge it and you let it in, instead of holding it at bay. Say, all right, thank you. That was the vibrational experience of the time. And here and now I'm choosing a new vibration.
Yeshua here, you have attached some shame. Let it go. Send light through the shame. All of you, we've said this before, we'll say it again. Shame paralyzes your process. Shame will stick you in place and prevents you from being able to move beyond, transition. So see shame in any way you wish, and then simply send love, send light through, blow it away, let it go. Again, whatever works for you. Gloria, you had your hand up.
Yes, talking about finishing the work. I don't know about this story, but apparently this experiment on Earth has been to, I don't know if it is restruct or undo the destruction for other timelines. According to our integration that we are doing already. So basically, I want to tell myself that we did it already. It's done. Like for everybody to say it was worth it. So, it was worth it.
Good, yay! Well, we'll even say, it not only was it worth it, it was fun. You all are having a lot of fun. You are.
Why does it feel so bad?
Because your perception is off. You've chosen to run, focus on denser, darker, heavier emotions. Bring your emotional body to neutral and begin to channel the frequency of joy through you more often, and you will have more fun. But your higher self is having fun, no matter what. It's fun.
And you're bringing your higher self into your body, so you can have more of this awareness of fun.
Yes.
We were aware of the download on December 21. Can you give us a movie trailer synopsis? I mean, understanding it's huge, but what do we have to look forward to?
Maybe this will be a good thing to close out with. Yeah. What we're coming into.
Well, the download's going to be different for everyone about what they want to focus on, which pieces of this download they want to unpackage, if you will. What do they want to open? What do they want to get into? And it's different for each and every person. But we will say, you're talking about what's coming for 2011. We will say the disclosure. That's one of those things. Accelerated time and your understanding of the constructs of time. That's also coming that you're working with. That is also part of the download. Is reminding you of time. The geometrical patterns for the structure of time within different dimensions, which we don't want to get into. All right, because there's a whole nother day worth of conversation. But you are going to experience compressed time, and many of you will feel really uncomfortable in that. If you're trying to operate in the old way, you say, I don't have enough time to get anything done. I feel like I just start and my day's over. And what this will force you to do is shift the framework, shift your perception of time so that you start stepping out of it, start manipulating it, and you start doing this internally as you are intuitively guided. We've talked a lot about vibration and aligning with vibration. This is how we work with time. Time is a marker. So we simply align ourselves with the vibrational frequency that exists in that now moment that is labeled with a particular timestamp. And this is what you all are going to start to do intuitively, because that's the normal way of working. Here's another piece, as we were talking about before, about having fun with everything. You all are in a rush to get to this other point, this past 2012 multidimensional perspective point. What we'll say to you is you already know what that existence is like. What you don't know is how do you go through the integration process here. This is the interesting bit. This is the part that you all came for. So have fun with it and learning to play with it. Make it a game for yourselves. See what you can do with it today. Get curious about it today. How can I see this today? How can I shift my perspective to have a new experience today? And the more conscious you can be of experiencing a reality in that way, the more fun it can be. But time is certainly one of those things that you're going to play with a lot more next year.
We're going to add as well, many more are going to begin awakening in 2011. And as that happens, those of you who have pioneered the remembering process are going to find yourselves busier and busier being a facilitator to those who are newly remembering. You have to remember everyone here on the planet is being given the opportunity to download their higher self and to shift, no matter what they're doing in this moment. Everyone has that opportunity. We're seeing, so when we say everyone, that means all your politicians, all of the, yes, that's right. Absolutely.
All your bankers.
All your bankers, that's right. And there's going to be a big remembering in 2011. And some of these people who, in your illusion of reality and that perception, hold significant power, may have awakening processes happen. They may begin to start operating at higher frequencies. So be careful about wanting to throw out your government. Remember, there are many here on this mission in all walks of life. And part of the awakening process, part of the remembering process for some, has very specific timing. Okay, if all your politicians, those in government, governing, awoke, remembered a very long time ago, you'd no longer be playing the game the way you are now. So you do have that bigger remembering to look forward to in 2011 as more and more awaken, which offers the opportunity for more and more collaboration, but you're going to see that then reflected back to you in your leaders as well. And they may begin to actually operate as leaders of higher frequency energy, including your president. It's very, we'll say, Nora doesn't want to say this.
So we'll say it is very possible.
Yeah. Well, I was debating between possible and probable. That was the one I couldn't choose. So thank you for saying. Yeah, we're going to say to you it's possible that he may download a much higher frequency being and allow that being to move through him and to begin operating through him. It is possible. It's not a certainty.
What about the Republicans?
We're going to ask you not to do that. You know, we know you're making a joke and you're making light. Yes. But when we say all are remembering, all are remembering. Yes. No matter what they're doing right now.
And we will say it's important that as you encounter anyone, be it your family members, especially as you enter into this holiday season, or whether it is someone that you your government officials, do not assign judgment to them based on their past actions. See them as a divine being in that moment, capable of making brand new choices. Hold that higher vision for them. And actually, this is a really good time for you to do it when you're with your family, because you know that they have certain behaviors and you expect them to behave in certain ways. So what if you entered into the situation seeing them as being an expanded being capable of making brand new choices and interacting with you in a way that they have never interacted with you before? How fabulous would that be? And this is what we encourage you to envision for them, that they can be whatever they want to be. They no longer have to use their past as who they are. They can redefine themselves. You are constantly redefining yourself with each and every breath that you take. Most of you just aren't chucking out the old programs. You're running them over and over. But with each breath, you redefine who you are. Or the illusion of who you are. The limited perception of who you are. And eventually you throw out all the distortions that say you're limited, and then you simply are your higher self. But hold that vision for others as well. And you'll find that your interactions with them are very, very different.
Yeshua here. We're going to close now. We thank you all for being exactly who you are in this moment. We love you. We honor you. We are always here for you. Close your eyes, take a breath, feel our presence. We are always here for you.
There are so many beings here who wish to be of assistance. You've got so much support. So, for every one of you, there are at least 10 of us behind you, supporting you, wanting to be of assistance to you. So feel free to call on any of us at any time. And know that you have within you the ability to hear us clearly, easily, and effortlessly. Hold that frequency, align with that frequency, and trust what you get. So as always, dear ones, we are watching, we are waiting, and we are sending many well wishes.
Thank you.
Ah, pleasure. Thank you so much, everyone.
So we want to thank you all for coming. We are looking at doing something in probably the end of February in Ojai. Nora and I are really excited as we're talking about this. Brand new levels of information for both of us that we're bringing through. Some brand new stuff, and I think maybe a little bit on form matter. So there'll be more information up on our websites shortly on that.
We're talking about a weekend-long event in Ojai. A Friday evening channeled lecture, all-day workshop Saturday, all-day workshop Sunday. You can participate on any level you want. So we're in the process of getting that together. Thank you all so much for being here. John, thank you for holding the energy.
Thank you, John.
Wendy.